Yes, guys, what's going on? Adam McCullough here, full-time Devils. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's that time again. It's 8 p.m. It's time for MUFC Transfer Daily Live, and we're here discussing all things Manchester United, all things transfers, all things Harry Maguire, all things Bruno Fernandes. Yes, we've got it covered right here on Full-Time Devils. Hope you guys are all good. Good evening, good morning, good whatever. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, hope you're having a good one. Obviously, we've got some great content coming your way because we've been doing a few bits. We were checking out the new Pro Evo yesterday, and you're going to see some content around that. We have the new podcast up today as well, so plenty of stuff for you guys to get stuck into. After this, head over to iTunes and subscribe to Full-Time Devils 2. But for now, we're getting stuck into Bruno Fernandes talk and Harry Maguire talk, because since United wrapped up Wan-Bissaka, those are the two players that have been consistently linked to the club with transfers. Now, Bruno Fernandes over there is valued at around £50 million, although some reports say Sporting Lisbon wants £70 million, although that has been highly unrealistic from them. They're more likely to get around £50 million for the player. And Harry Maguire, there's been talks of around a £90 million valuation on the player, with a £70 million bid rejected by Manchester United. So we're going to find out what the latest is regarding both of those players here today. So make sure you're keeping it locked for all of that. Keep your comments coming in as well on both players, and we'll discuss all things Maguire and Fernandes. Right now I can see Luke, Craig, Sickhead in the comments, Samoan in the comments, Danboy, BO Gaming, Callum. I can see loads of guys in the comments, and Callum says, can Bruno play with Pogba? Well, the guys discussed that on the podcast, so make sure you check that out after we're done here. Harry Maguire, the latest on him. Now, one of the reports in the British press is that he's currently on holiday. He's told Leicester City he wants to leave. United have obviously bid that £70 million, which has been rejected. That's been reported by a lot of people, most of them being quite reliable as well. And Leicester City are believing they can, United are believing they can get him for £80 million, according to these reports. Man City are interested, but they don't like the valuation. They don't want to match that valuation of £80 million. And with the centre halves that they've got, you can understand it. But the demand from Manchester United for a centre half is obviously higher. When you look at Koulibaly, he could potentially go for over £100 million. When you look at other centre backs, they could go for a lot of money. Alderweireld, though, is an interesting one, because surely he's available in a cut price deal. So why aren't United interested there? Is he going to sign up to a long-term deal at Spurs? The talk is, though, about Harry Maguire, and for, let's say, £80 million, it would be around 15% of United's turnover. So it shows you how much money has increased in football. Anik says, give Twanzebe a chance, Lindelof and Axel. I think we should go in at £80 million for him. Remember, I told you that stat yesterday. When we signed Rio Ferdinand for £30 million, it was 17% of Manchester United's turnover. Now, when we're about... who'd be your choice between Maguire and Diop, says Adam Williams. Interesting one now. Issa Diop, I signed him on Football Manager, and he helped me win the Champions League. So I may be a little bit biased, but I'm not too sure. Maguire's obviously shown a little bit more, but I do think Diop's a good player. Now, Diop may be available for about half the price of Maguire, but West Ham are going to demand a lot of money. So again, it just depends. Do you go for Harry Maguire, who's more maybe proven in the English game, for maybe 20 odd million extra? I think maybe that would make more sense, but I do think Issa Diop's a quality centre back, and I do think he'll improve as well. So that's all very interesting in regards to Harry Maguire to Manchester United, and whether that will come off. Asriel says anyone but Smalling and Jones. And Dennis says, any news on a central defensive midfielder? We'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to move on to Bruno Fernandes now. Sport Witness, thanks to those guys for compiling all these different reports from around the world. Now, Ebola and Ojogo in Portugal are reporting that Miguel Pino, who is Bruno Fernandes' agent, is flying to England today to receive the first official offers for him. Offers are expected to come from United, Spurs, and Liverpool. United are showing the most interest and are the likely destination. Now, that's interesting. We obviously heard before that Sporting were demanding around 70, 80 million pounds for him, but that's not realistic. So maybe he's available for around 50 million pounds. Now, this report coming out of Portugal is saying that we're the ones that are more keen on him. Now, we could be being used as a bargaining chip for more money to come from other clubs if, say, Spurs or Liverpool are interested in him. But they're saying he's flying to England to speak with teams. Now, I'm sure someone's probably found a plane and tracked it down online and saying this is his plane and this is when he arrived and all that stuff. But I'm sure we'll hear more from this story if this is the case and this is true, that he has actually flown into England for talks. Now, I also read something else earlier which said Maguire and Fernandes are our most, they're the deals we're looking to make happen, and they could happen soon. Now, if Maguire and Fernandes happened, United would then only make signings based on outgoings. Now, we're obviously hearing links to Longstaff. Now, I think that's a deal that could probably be done for like 20, 25 million pounds. If that happened, I don't think we'd be talking about that. But let's say we got Wan-Bissaka, Daniel James for around 60 million pounds up front, and we pay like another 5 to 10 million pounds in add-ons. We get Maguire for, let's say, 80 million, Fernandes for 50 million, Longstaff for 25. That's around 215 to 220 million pounds spent. Now, if Romelu Lukaku leaves, you then recoup maybe 70 million. That brings your spending down to 150 million. United probably would have expected to spend around 200 million this season. And then you maybe sign a centre forward. We've been linked with Ben Yedder, who's got a release clause of around 35 million. So United would then be keeping their spending around 200 million pound, which is what you rumour to be our budget, which means these rumours could be true. They could all be bollocks as well. We all know that. But they aren't going away, and they are continuous, and they keep coming. Now, we've got over 600 people watching, so thank you very much for tuning in to Full Time Devils. We're here for another, 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to be chatting everything. We're going to get into the comments, talking about what you guys want to talk about as well. Adam Satar says, not Longstaff. Annex says, give the kids a chance. Are we in a period of time where we can give too many kids chances? Do we need a little bit of experience in our side? And not that Longstaff is experienced, I'm not saying him. What happened to Van der Beek, says Dennis Lamaria. With De Ligt leaving, and of course Frankie de Jong leaving Ajax, I don't think they're going to be looking to let Van der Beek go. And maybe that will be one that happens next summer. Darmian's going to go somewhere, says Ad White. Yep, so that's probably 20 million we could recoup. Maybe. Mo says we need to keep Pogba, and I totally agree with that. Ryan King says he rates Longstaff. Samoan, thank you for your nice comment. Longstaff's the next Carrick, says Bill. Who do I want, says homeless Gavin McGuinness. Weird name. So who do we want? I wanted Wan-Bissaka. That was someone I wanted. I wanted a centre-half who I said at the time was Alderweireld, but I would take Harry Maguire. Obviously, the numbers that we're talking about are ridiculous, but I'd take Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes, I've never really spoken about him or really wanted him, but he's obviously a talented player. Would I take him at United? Yes. If I could sign a central midfielder, I'd sign. I've always spoke about Ruben Neves. You've got Christian Eriksen's possibly available, but I doubt he'd come to a team in the Europa League. That's a big problem for United at the moment, being in the Europa League. And maybe Fernandes is one that we could attract. I never really get my heart set on players because it never really comes around and never happens when you do want someone that bad. And recently, we've wanted players that bad and things haven't quite turned out when they have came to the United. So, yeah. Who should replace Lukaku if he leaves, says Rob Young. Now, it'd be interesting to try Martial and Rashford through the middle more. I'd sign a striker that can play across the line. So you're looking at could play left, right, and centre. Now Ben Yedder's obviously been spoken about. Would I take him? 30-odd million? Yeah, I'd take him. But who would I sign as a striker or as a front man? I'd go all out for Jadon Sancho. Seriously. It'd probably mean pushing our budget out a little bit more. But if you can get Jadon Sancho to play on the right, then you're not relying on Rashford to ever play there. You can get, just brought in Daniel James, who's a winger. Play Rashford and Martial through the middle. I'd do that. Improve the front line elsewhere. Bring Greenwood into the squad, maybe. But I don't know. I don't mean together, Con. I mean playing them, alternate number 9s or, maybe sometimes at home together. But I don't think that we'll always play two through the middle. Luke says, is it realistic to get Sancho in this window? Probably not. Probably not. What about Aubameyang, says Toby? I don't think that's going to happen. There's a lot of talk about him going to China, which is interesting. But I'm not sure about that one, Should we sell Matic, says Delaney? I don't think we will sell Matic. I think Matic is a player that we should look to move on in the next 12 to 18 months. But I don't think we'll sell him this summer for a good reason. Look at our midfield. We've got Pogba, McTominay, Andreas Pereira, Matic, Herrera's gone. So you're looking around. We haven't got much to choose from. We got Fred as well. We haven't got much to choose from in the central midfield area. So I can't see us letting go of Matic. I don't think we should be playing him week in, week out. And we need someone, to play ahead of him. But I don't think we should be letting him go. Is Maguire worth it? Probably not. But is he a player that we should be signing to improve our defence? Probably. I know that doesn't really answer your question, but that's how I feel about it. Transfer fees are just ridiculous at this moment in time. So you can't really, get too wound up by them. Anyway, guys, you've all been absolute legends. And if you want to be another legend one more time, get hitting that like button. Get hitting that subscribe button. Keep it locked to Full Time Devils. We'll be back again with more Transfer Daily live tomorrow. And of course, if anything pops off official, then you'll hear it here first. I've been Adam McCauley. You guys have been legends. See you later.